What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So, today, yes, we are going to discuss the long awaited project from Lil Wayne Carter 6. Dropped midnight Thursday, obviously Friday albums usually drop. And it's created quite the storm on the internet, quite the storm on the hip hop blogs. Hip hop media is all buzzing all about it. People are doing their reviews, obviously, as this is a highly anticipated album, especially after the Super Bowl controversy with Lil Wayne versus Rock Nation and Jay-Z, and the whole Kendrick Lamar little skirmish they had, if you will, early in the year. So let's get to it. There's a lot to unpack with this album. I'm just going to let you know. So I'm going to get what I liked out of the way really quick because there's so much to talk about this album. There's just so much. There's this album. Okay, we'll just get to it. I'll just say that. So with that, let's start. Let me pull up the track list and then hold on a minute. Let's pull up the track list and let's do a walkthrough here about what I liked and what I didn't like. Hold on a minute. Having some issues pulling up the screen here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Wayne Carter 6. All right, let's go here. So, what did I like here? All right. What did we like on the Carter 6? So I'll start off with the song Welcome to the Carter. That had a vibe of the old Carters, Carter 1 and Carter 2, that I liked. Wayne's rhymes was dope on there. He had some dope lyrics on there. Presented well, had good energy. Was a good start to the album. That was a good start. I'm gonna get to the intro in a while and tell you what I had a problem with the intro, King Carter. But I think that was a good start to the album. I like the song Hip Hop with Big X the Plug and Jay Jones. I think it had a dope vibe to it. It had a dope vibe, like a Southern vibe to it. I think Big X the Plug did his thing on there. But the only problem I had with the record is Wayne got out rapped on there, yo. I think Big X the Plug made the hook effective, that you paid attention to it. And I think Jay Jones brought much more energy than Wayne on this album, or not album, but track. So I really think that they did their thing on hip hop, but it made it a dope record. Not a great record, but a dope record. And I like the song Sharks with Big Sean and Jelly Roll. But I think Big Sean not only out rapped, I think he ate up Lil Wayne on this song. Like straight up, Big Sean made the song. This is more Big Sean's song than Lil Wayne's songs. And I like the concept of the record about snakes in the grass or what have you, but and shady people or whatever. But I think that Wayne got out rapped on here. He definitely got out rapped. Again, so this is the second time Wayne got out rapped on his own album. And then the song Days, These Days, or The Days, no, The Days with Bono, I like. I only really like this song because of Bono. U2 is one of my favorite rock groups of all time. And I think I think really Bono gave really the energy for this track with him singing his hook on there. And but overall, the song is one of these pop rock collabos that kind of were like in style in the mid 2010s, but they kind of died out in like the late 2010s, like 2016, 2017. They're not really that big of a deal anymore. But I like the energy of this track. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a dope track, and I feel it's kind of like one of those inspirational tracks or what have you. Eminem was notorious for doing kind of records like these kind of records. So I feel that joint. And really the only real track that I really was feeling like that was the last one, Written History. To me, this may be the best track on here. I just like the vibe of the record. It's got kind of a dark, kind of eerie type of beat to it. And I like Wayne's flows on there. I think he was smooth on this. He wrote the beat good or what have you. I definitely like Wayne's flows on there. So yeah, so that's what I liked about the album. Um, and you're saying, well, that's not that many tracks on here, so you must not have liked a lot on this album. And you are somewhat right. Because there is a lot to talk about as far as what I didn't like on him on this album. So what was wrong with the album? You know what I mean? And I'll pull this out, stop sharing this for a minute. So what was wrong with this album? And bottom line, this album was all over the place. I really don't know what was the direction Wayne wanted to take this. First of all, this album just sounded mad dated. It was just really a dated album. Like, this album would have played better in 2017. Like, literally, like the beats, the production on here just sounded dated. I don't know what. And see, this is my thing. Like, Wayne has access to the best producers in the game, whether it's Hit Boy or Metro Boomin, Mike Will Made It going back. I know he had his run with Bangladesh and those guys back then. I mean, you name it. And I don't know who did the production on here, but these beats sounded real dated, like circa mid 2010s, like 2016 or 17. And I don't know why he went to that style, but that's what it was. And it just sounded dated. It could have been me, but Lil Wayne was really using a lot of old flows, a lot of old rhyme schemes that I heard him use before, and it came off as lazy. And I'm like, bro, like, you're supposed to be inspired. This is the Carter Six. This is your most notable series of rap records, out there. Why are you coming like this on here? I mean, he was much more inspired on Carter 5. And I think Carter 5 was somewhat mid. I didn't think that was all that. But this, I mean, you just came off as like uninspired with lazy flows. And I swear he used some of these verses, I swear were older and not current. Like on one of the first tracks, he referenced R.I.P. Jerry West. Jerry West, the basketball legend, Jerry West. Jerry West died summer of last year. You know what I mean? He died summer of last year. So that could tell me that song was over a year old. He made references to his jail time, which was back in 2021. So some of these verses, I would venture to say, may have been what, 4 years old. 3 years old, if that, like, I think he used older verses, like, seriously on this. You know what I mean? His bars was okay. I mean, he had some, but the bars didn't hit as hard as Wayne bars hit in the past. They were pretty decent, but there weren't anything to write home about. I could have sworn also he reused bars. I know the Big B's reference that he used on John with Rick Ross. Big B's, like, references a Red Sox hat. He said, "Oh, I got get Big B's, like a buzz, to get buzz, so it calls bees, buzz, obviously, you know what I mean?" So it's like some of his metaphors he's used before, and that came off as lazy to me. So overall, like, it just came off as like a lazy project. You know what I mean? It just really came off as a lazy project to me. And I really didn't feel the energy on here. You know what I mean? So, what were the tracks on here that really were not all that great? You know what I mean? Like, the weakest tracks on this album. So let me get to this right here, like, and I'll pull it back up, pull up the track list so we could do another walkthrough. But yeah, man, like, a lot to question on here. You know what I'm saying? A lot to question on here. So where do we get started? Now, I mentioned about the intro, right? King Carter. So King Carter actually had a dope energy about it. Like, it started out with some talking on there, and then it went into kind of a chant, kind of, and it had some energy behind it. Why did not Wayne take this time? Like, if Wayne would have rapped over this intro, and this would have been a perfect time, and I mean perfect time, to go ahead and kind of sum up his feelings about the Super Bowl snub in New Orleans and even address the Kendrick Lamar situation. This would have been perfect in the intro to basically say, yeah, so we're going to talk about that, and this is how I felt, and this is what I feel on that, and get it out the way, and then go into the Carter 2. Like, okay, now that I got that off my chest, time to get back to business. Welcome to the Carter. That would have been perfect. But I think he effed up the intro by just having it be like a repetitive, like, chant. Like, it sounded incomplete. It just didn't sound crisp at all. And I'm like, well, what was the point of this intro? You should have just started with "Welcome to the Carter." So I had a problem with the intro. I really wasn't feeling that. Bells. That's another one, man. So again, this goes back to the whole dated thing. They used a reused dated LL beat from the 1980s. They kind of remixed it, and his flows were crazy basic. You know what I mean? Just wild basic, and it boring, flat out boring. I mean, this is a skip of all skips. And you kind of did injustice to LL by disrespecting his classic like that. Like, I think that was just old, redundant, unoriginal, and just a really boring rhyme scheme that nobody cares about. I mean, you basically took like a 1980s rhyme scheme and try to update it a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't plain at all. You know what I mean? Then, speaking about recreating classics, then we get to Band from New Orleans. So he takes like really a watered down version of the 1998 Band from TV, which is a classic track with Nature, Noriega, Styles P, who else am I leaving? Big Pun, you name it. That's a classic collab track from the 1990s, right? And he trashes that. The watered down version, weak flows, weak rhyme scheme, And I'm like, you're disrespecting classics now. And it's like I said, why out of all, I'm thinking to myself, you have access to all the top level producers in the game, even if you had to go the Dr. Dre route. You know what I mean? All the people from that work with Drake. You know what I mean? All the dope trap producers from Metro Boomin and uh, who's another guy? Mike Will Made It or whatever, or you know, I mean, you could go on with these guys, and I mean, you pick these like reused, like watered down versions of '90s beats that aren't even done right. I mean, basically you could have just got Swizz. I don't even know if Swizz did this beat, but you could have got Swizz to cook you, who did the original beat, and cook you up a new fresh beat. I mean, because Swizz worked on you on the Carter 5 on your lead single. So it's like it, it just sounded lazy, bro. Then now, I mean, and after this, I mean, we get to this Cotton Candy with 2 Chainz, right? And this is kind of after this track, it really goes off the rails, this album. But before that, they do this Cotton Candy, which is a weak attempt at like kind of some country trap going on here. And I think they're trying to talk about their relationships with, you know, and trying to make the metaphor with cocaine and you know, Caucasian women that they dealt with or whatever. But anyway, 2 Chainz out rapped him on this song. So now let's get to the count. You got out rapped on features, not one, not two, but 3 times on your project. That's lazy, bro. When you have been known to crush people on features, how are you gonna let unknown artists like this, what's his name? This Jay Jones cat, Big Sean, and 2 Chainz smoke you on features on your own record? When you're the one who usually goes out and smokes other people on their record. I mean, you went toe to toe with Nas on his last joint, and this is what you come with. And it's like, so Cotton Candy is another one that I'm like, bro, not only is it a weak attempt at some country trap, like, I don't know, like some country trap, like Old Town Road type shit, but you get smoked by 2 Chainz on your own record. You know what I mean? And now after this, the album really goes off the tracks. You know what I mean? Really goes off the tracks because you try to go into some Island Holiday, which is some weak attempt at emo pop stuff. Then another weak attempt at emo rock with If I Played the Guitar, which is, I don't know, a tribute to your ex-girlfriend or something that is just didn't fit the theme of the album. It just didn't fit the context and the structure of the album whatsoever. Then you go into Peanuts and Elephant, which had to be the most trash song on here, from the goofy beat to his, I don't know what type of flow he was using on there. And then it's supposedly supposed to be a tribute to Donald Trump and the Republican Party because of the elephant reference, which I got kinda, but if it was, it really wasn't effective. You know, how you're supposed to, if you want to do a tribute to Donald Trump, with that's a discussion for another day. But that's just garbage. That might be the most garbage track on here. Then you get into Moolah with this Lil Novi, right? Which now it's like, now you're trying to take on rage hip hop. This is like your weak attempt at rage hip hop now, where it's like, who you trying to come off or as like a bootleg version of Extentacion? Like, seriously, like Playboy Carti, you want to be now? Like, what is that? Like, so he's trying to do rage hip hop now with this Lil Novi guy. And then the song Maria, and I saw this track and I said, how the hell is this gonna work? You're gonna have an opera feature on here. opera singing in the background with a Wyclef Jean. And of course, it was the absolute disaster. First of all, you had Wyclef Jean, who is an old ass relic now. Who the hell wants to listen to Wyclef Jean in 2025? The dude died out in the 2000s, really, his style. Like Wyclef Jean of all people. And you have him rapping like double time flow, like we care about it. Like we want to hear Wyclef rap a sped up flow in 2025. I mean, come on. I mean, he's boring as shit. We don't give a damn. Who the hell gives a damn about Wyclef Jean in 2025? Then you have the opera feature, which I guess fits the context of the album because it's a tribute to Maria. I guess tribute to his mother or what have you. But it's like this song is all over the place. And you're trying to do it on like this trap beat that really doesn't work whatsoever. You know what I mean? So they had a lot of tracks on here that really didn't add up. You know what I mean? So, like I said, like this album was all over the place, man. All over the place. And it started to have a little bit of gain a little bit of momentum, I guess, but and maybe after maybe the 8th track, you could say it was okay going, but it just went in the toilet right after that. So next, what are we going to get to? Overall rating here. So overall rating. Yeah, I need to take a sip before I get to this. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Seriously, when you factor in the anticipation for this album, what was riding on this album, a lot of the unanswered questions that we wanted to hear from Wayne after his controversial year leading up to this, all of your comments about Kendrick, don't wake the sleeping giant, all of that other stuff. And you basically come with a dated album with played out flows, played out rhyme schemes, features that you get out rapped on. And on top of that, you don't even address and come with the energy to match that you got challenged from Kendrick Lamar on GNX. I mean, Kendrick Lamar called you out, bro. And this is what you come with? Like, and even if you didn't want to address the situation or, no pun intended, the elephant in the room, you could at least come with some harder energy and some creative concepts to really come back and make an official comeback. You know what I mean? But this is 5 out of 10, bro. And I can't go higher than that. Like 5 out of 10. And the biggest disappointment of this year, and probably the most disappointing album of Wayne's career, bro, with all that was riding on it. I mean, you choked, bro. Lil Wayne, you choked flat out. This album is garbage. 5 out of 10. Like, I really don't feel the vibe of this. I don't even think I'm going to listen to the songs that I liked all that longer on my playlist. But yeah, this is not hitting whatsoever, bro. You failed on this, Wayne. You failed. And you disappointed your fans. You greatly disappointed your fan base. And which I'm going to get to in a minute, but you disappointed hip hop with all that was riding on this. I mean, for somebody that is of that GOAT conversation, you are in the GOAT conversation. This is probably the weakest attempt from a rapper in that conversation, which are like the Nas, the Jay-Z's, who else? Kanye West. I might have to think about that again because Kanye West Bully was really trash. But you know what? I don't know. maybe Kanye's album was a little bit better because the beats on there were at least dope. You know what I mean? You're playing with played out beats and played out concepts from almost 10 years ago. So yeah, this is probably the weakest attempt from a GOAT worthy artist at making a quality project or making a project in a long time. Like really, I can't say that. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. I don't know what you think. Was it working for you? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. And let me know in the comments what you think. You know what I mean? Was this album, did it do it for you? It sure enough didn't do it for me. And this is the weakest attempt from a GOAT worthy artist I've ever seen as putting out an album like this, you know? So we're not done with this. You know, next podcast, we're gonna do a little bit of a referendum on Wayne. You know, Lil Wayne and the GOAT conversation. Like I think I want to have some guests on probably, you know, early in the week. I probably either Tuesday or Wednesday night. But yeah, we got a lot of questions to answer, and I'm gonna aim this podcast at a certain fan base. We're talking about the Wayne stans. We're talking about the Nation of Drake and your stan fan base. And we talking about those that were hating on Jay-Z and Rock Nation for not allowing or not putting Wayne in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? We have to talk about that. And we gotta this podcast is for y'all because you got some questions to answer after this, you know, train wreck of an album just got put out with all that was riding on Wayne. So stay tuned for the next podcast and Wayne and the GOAT conversation, because this is the weakest attempt from an artist that is GOAT worthy I've ever seen, probably. So with that, enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. We'll catch up with you on the next podcast, which we're going to do part 2 of this Wayne conversation. And I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Peace.